Based on what Quest Nutrition has been able to accomplish, the competitive landscape likely thinks it's basically cheating at this point, don't you think? I'll decode that introductory statement a bit later in this content, but on April 4th of 2024, the Simply Good Foods company reported its fiscal 2024 second quarter earnings for the period ending February 24th of 2024. As I normally do on these quarterly updates, I'll start by running through some of the high-level financial data to update you on how the Simply Good Foods company performed recently, but more importantly, I'll use the earnings report, notes I took from listening to the earnings conference call, and any relevant publicly disclosed news to give context for my expanded strategic commentary on trends that are happening within the nutritional snacking space. For those new to my content that might not be too familiar, the functional CPG brands that are within the Simply Good Foods company portfolio are Atkins Nutritionals, yes, originating from the Atkins diet, and Quest Nutrition. And before I get into the serious stuff, I want to give some shit to CEO Jeff Tanner. Back around this time last year, when the Simply Good Foods company announced the leadership swap, I made a joke about the big CPG lineage of the new CEO. Being that I'm originally a Northeast Ohioan, the JM Smucker company is close to my heart, and I'm still a brand loyalist today. Well, I don't know if Jeff Tanner was the one that approved the corporate rebrand a few years ago. My guess is that he was because he held the CMO position at that time, but I'm still upset that they went modern and stripped the soul out of its corporate visual identity. But what does that have to do with the Simply Good Foods company at present day? Well, Jeff Tanner went back into his old bag of tricks and did a revamp on the Simply Good Foods company corporate visual identity. But this time I have no feelings about the original corporate logo, besides the fact that my assumption is that whoever came up with it originally in 2017 or so did so because at the time they also owned the brand Simply Protein that was sold off in 2020. Okay, enough with that. Let's get into some of those financial numbers first. In the second quarter of fiscal 2024, the portfolio reported generating revenue of $312.2 million, which was up 5.3% year over year. After lapping the price increases from last year, this growth is almost exclusively coming from positive volume. On a quarter over quarter sequential basis, revenue was up slightly at 1.1%. In terms of geographic performance, revenue within North America was up 5.1% year over year, and international increased 12.2% year over year. At this point, Simply Good Foods company generates somewhere north of 95% of its total revenue from the North American market. If you were curious, the portfolio's top two international markets are Australia and New Zealand. Looking quickly at the margin side, the company had gross margins of 37.4%, which was up 280 basis points year over year and up 10 basis points quarter over quarter. It was noted that improving gross margins were the result of lower ingredient and packaging costs. Now, shifting back into retail sales activity, the total Simply Good Foods retail takeaway for the 13 weeks ending February 24th of 2024 increased 1.3% in the US measured channels. If you combine the measured and unmeasured channels, retail takeaway is estimated at a positive 3%. As a portfolio, the Simply Good Foods company is below the nutritional snacking categorical average of around 7% growth right now, but that's due to the Atkins Nutritionals brand dragging down Quest Nutrition. So let's separate the individual brand performance out, and we will start with a recap of how the Atkins Nutritionals brand did during this quarter. Even if you haven't been an avid follower of my content for the past several years, I guess you could intuitively assume that it's been tough sledding recently for the weight management category. This has been made even more complicated with the approval of GLP-1 weight loss solutions. Even though the weight management category is evolving, company-supported consumer research showed that 80% of consumers are looking to lose weight or maintain a healthy eating lifestyle, and Atkins is distinctly and uniquely positioned as the most trusted low-carb, low-sugar solution. Moreover, when consumers try Atkins products, they are pleased and delighted. Yet, as you'll see from the brand results this quarter, There continues to be a slight disconnect between what people say about the Atkins brand and the company's ability to properly reach those people to create positive commercial results. But I'm not telling the Simply Good Foods Company team anything they don't recognize, as the company is currently midstream on executing the 5-point Atkins revitalization plan that should exhibit full results within the next year. That being said, the current January to March New Year, New Me period that spans the company's fiscal Q2 and into Q3 is extremely important because it will give them leading indicators that aspects of the plan are taking hold in the marketplace. So, how did the Atkins period perform? I'll let the sales data speak for itself. In the quarter, retail takeaway in the US measured channels for the Atkins brand was down about 11% year over year. It's estimated that combining US measured and unmeasured channels would result in about an 8% negative retail takeaway for the quarter. This is mostly driven by Amazon offsetting some of that measured channel softness by having retail takeaway growth of 13% year over year with the Atkins brand. So, the 2024 New Year, New You season for Atkins was softer than anticipated. The blame? Well, it was placed on the competitive landscape within the RTD protein beverages. And while CEO Jeff Tanner didn't call them out by name, that competitor was Premier Protein. During last year's New Year, New You season, Premier Protein had some inventory problems, and that provided Atkins some one off incremental placements. But if you also watch and listen to my Bellring Brands quarterly updates, you'd know a few things, including that Premier Protein is now back to full inventory and increasing trade spend again. It was noted, though, in March, which falls into the next quarter's period, Atkins retail takeaway trends improved both through offline and online sales channels. And before I mention another one of the Atkins revitalization plan points, I'd like to throw some love towards the brand's e commerce team for the progress made over the last few years. Atkins is now pushing towards 1/5 of its total revenue coming from e commerce, with channel sales over $2 million per week being driven by a mix of new consumers and some heavy users that are migrating from brick and mortar retail. But before jumping to Quest Nutrition, let's talk about Atkins product innovation because there's some interesting stuff going on with the brand. The product innovation that got the most attention was called Atkins Strong, which seems to be focused on a heftier protein content RTD beverage with extra prebiotic fiber to support gut health. But seems like a larger line extension play that was developed specifically for consumers on the GLP-1 weight loss solutions. In my opinion, you're going to see protein snacking based or kind of focused weight management brands like Atkins and others get repositioned on the right side of GLP-1 second order effects through both product innovation and marketing communications. Like what happened in 2020 or 2021 with the immune benefits, most of the innovation, if you want to call that, will come in the targeted communication strategy arena. But we will continue to see product stuff like Atkins Strong from competitors as high protein levels are important to help maintain muscle mass while on GLP-1 weight loss solutions. But maybe all of this innovation stuff is a good transition to talk about Quest Nutrition. So let's take a deeper look at the recent performance of the convenient nutrition brand that has outshined its legacy brand portfolio counterpart. In fact, Quest Nutrition now makes up close to 60% of the total revenue generated by the entire portfolio and has more than doubled its revenue since it was acquired in November of 2019. Retail takeaway for Quest Nutrition across the tracked channels increased 13.1% year over year, driven by almost entirely volume growth. The brand continues to outperform the active nutrition segment of the nutritional snacking category. This outperformance is being driven by an increase in household penetration, significant base velocity growth, increasing buy rates, distribution gains, and new product introductions. If we add in the unmeasured channels, which is nearly 24% of the total Quest retail sales, the blended retail takeaway growth of Quest Nutrition lowers that growth rate a bit. While Quest bars are still the king of Amazon, growth in e-commerce has slowed a bit, and the brand has also been deprioritizing the specialty sales channel. Looking at specific Quest product categories more closely, retail takeaway growth of bars this quarter was about 6%. The snack segment of Quest Nutrition, which now accounts for almost half of all measured channel retail sales, saw retail takeaway growth increase 21%. But if we take this one layer deeper, the salty side of the Quest snack segment had quarterly retail takeaway growth of about 40%. Quest chips now make up just over 20% of the total Quest nutrition revenue and provides around 30% of its new users to the brand. Salty snacks are where I'd argue most of the excitement lies, but it seems the brand believes, at least right now, there are more low hanging fruit on the sweet side of the snack segment. I say that because it was recently announced that Quest would launch a new bake shop platform for the fall of 2024. The offerings will start with high protein, low sugar, and great tasting muffins and a brownie. The company believes this new platform will bring new consumers to the active nutrition category and further expand usage occasions for the Quest Nutrition brand. Additionally, Quest Nutrition will prioritize its recently revamped RTD protein beverages more and even extend the packaged liquids form factor into protein iced coffee. These product innovations will be underpinned by a comprehensive marketing plan as part of the It's Basically Cheating advertising campaign. If you haven't seen these playful and sarcastically comedic TV spots featuring Academy Award and Emmy nominated writer, actor, and comedian Kumal Nanjiani, here's a clip of one.
There's only one way to make the impossible possible. With a bit of cheating. Hey, Patrick. Shoulder deck. There's only one way to smash your goals while smashing nacho cheese chips. Cheating! Woo! Can you go a little slower? It's getting flashy. There's only one way to reach the top without sacrifice. Cheating.
Hello?
There's only one way to eat delicious cookies while getting your protein in. Yep, some cheating. There's only one way to make your mark while eating candy. Cheating. And there's only one way to make a commercial with Kumal Nanjiani, even though he's currently competing in a triathlon in Hawaii.
By cheating.
Big on protein, low on sugar, huge on flavor.
It's basically cheating.
Quest. It's basically cheating.
Hey, can we get a pool in there? I know the ocean's right there, but it's like too big.
So to me, this is just another big step forward for Quest Nutrition that will reach billion-dollar retail sales status by the end of this year. Quest Nutrition has proven it's one of the few brands that can successfully extend across multiple product forms. Additionally, its customer base expects them to come into an indulgent snacking category and flip it into great tasting offerings that are higher in protein and lower in the stuff that they don't want, like carbs and sugar. I think most people forget about just how innovative Quest Nutrition has been since the very beginning of the brand. And it's constant product innovation that has been a key driver of new buyers into the brand and increased the household penetration. And then, despite the brand's impressive growth and it being a pioneer in the active nutrition snacking category, Quest Nutrition has only around a 16 or 17% household penetration. So adding in an elevated creative output like what is seen in the new Quest Nutrition It's Basically Cheating marketing campaign and giving it the budget to drive greater brand awareness, it should drive household penetration to record levels in 2024. But overall, whether it's bars, liquids, or other snacking formats, these convenient nutrition subcategories collectively continue to be a standout versus most of the standard store where volumes have more recently been flat. Then you consider some of the longer term secular trends like wellness minded snacking and convenience, and it's an exciting functional CPG space to be building within over the next 5 to 10 years. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also, help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that I think just over 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.